How's it going, everyone? It is Monday, October 7th, 2024. Let's get into the pick from the last video, which was Illumina. So I was actually rewatching the last video because I forgot what I gave in the pick and saw that video was frozen a couple minutes in. So that's just OBS kind of being dumb. But the pick was Illumina. And the pick that was setting up here, I'm going to show you the trade. And I did end up taking this trade. So here is the setup of the market yesterday. We had the unemployment report. We gapped up, had a choppy fill. I thought we'd actually fill in the gap later in the day, but we just kind of kept getting this bid check, bid check, bid check, bid check. And you see that eventually sellers threw in the towel in the last 2 hours of the day, and we got a nice rally. So that's what can happen if buyers are coming in, and they're just making this move. This weak choppy drift higher actually can end up accelerating, and that 1OP bullish cross actually caught that last little bit here. So that was kind of the intraday setup for SPY. On the day, you can see that Illumina first on the D1 chart had a nice little breakout, getting through its relative highs, had some room to this level over here around 143-ish. Broke through this level here, had a nice test, came back and tested it, followed through the breakout. So we got a new buy signal coming up here. That's when I took the trade around 140.41-ish. And then the stock did turn up a little bit higher, and I did take some profits. Actually, a pretty good level at 141.79 later in the day. Did not rally as strong to the market, you can see later in the day. So the entry was right here around 1 o'clock. And here was the stock here's the market at 1 o'clock. So you can see market held, and then it rallied, stock held, and then it rallied a little bit, but it really just couldn't break out of this high plus channel here. And that's kind of what it was rubbing up against. So took a little break, and then the last 4 or 5 minutes of the day or so, that is when I got out of the stock. So nice win in Illumina. We will mark that as a win. Okay. Now the other pick we have is still WBA. So let's zoom out here first to the D1 chart. You can see the stock is compressing. I have moved out my order here to take a loss potentially here. Now we have this first high, test it, second high, lower high coming back. So we could get a breakdown on this later. We have some time until earnings, so I may potentially give it until earnings here and see if it can't break through then. So that gives me about a week or so to profit on the stock. So that will happen, and we'll see. This may be a situation where we try to take the best possible loss. Okay, so let's take a look at what the market is up to. The spoiler alert is that it is not up to a lot. After that breakout, it's in this compression here. It's been in this compression for the past 2 weeks, chopping around its AVWAP between the high, which is around 575, and the low around 565. AVWAP right in the middle, and so it's just kind of chopping around, reacting to that AVWAP candle. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here on a shorter term basis. So fundamentally, we got a lot of good news in terms of where the economy is going, in terms of the jobs, in terms of ISM services, in terms of GDP. So a lot of good economic numbers, but not a lot of price action to match that optimism. And here is AVWAP pretty much smack dab in the middle, so you can see how the market reacts to that level intraday. So longer term technical, we're still pretty bullish, but shorter term, we are mildly or pretty neutral, I'd say, at the moment. So I'm keeping my trades short term, keeping my trades balanced, not having too much on, and just taking profits into strength as I can. So you see me flashing master here. That's kind of the setup today. We got a gap down, tested both sides. We got a failed breakout right here, and then we may actually move back into the range. This actually could set up pretty nicely for a long. So if I just went long SPY right here, we could rush back in the range, and that could get us a nice little profit. And if we break down below, then that's when you would take your loss. Well, that's at least how it treats SPY today. But in terms of this day, flat range, not a lot of movement both ways. If we take a look at how the mega cap tech stocks are doing, Nvidia is pretty strong, but everything else is fairly weakish. They're not really doing a whole lot. Meta is pretty flat. Microsoft's pretty flat. Meta is a little bit weak. And then the other stocks are also a tad weak here. If we look at some of the other market strength stuff here, crypto strong. I'm in MSTR right now. Two things to check here: percent and the volatility, which is for some reason not showing me that. There we go. Okay, so here's SPY right here. So we want stocks. For example, I'll give an example here. Mags, right? This is a lower percentage, so you might say it's weaker, but the volatility is actually about the same. So it tells us that the percent change tends to be bigger for mags versus SPY anyways. So the volatility is really what we want to see. Volatility and then the directionality. So this gives us the directionality. I can say actually XSD is weaker, but not as volatile as SPY. So it's actually not as relatively weak versus the market. See, it's actually the strong signals coming up over here. But not a lot of things are really leading up today. XLK, oil is looking okay. If you look at some of the sectors, see if anything is poking out over here. Just changing my HUD. Okay, so there's actually some little bit of decent RVOL, considering we got these like really very random spikes come over here. So here's the first spike, here's the second spike. So there's quite a bit of support at this level at 570. That's a VWAP-Q coming into play. There's a little bit of resistance, but I find this to be a lot more minor. So yeah, I mean, in terms of the sectors, maybe energy here, some pockets of strength in tech, but a lot of stuff is looking a little bit soft today. It's more red sectors than green sectors for today. So what are some picks we can do? Oh, by the way, too, I've been using this this auto hide feature. So if I click away, this the scanner will go away, but I put it on the right. So if I want to pull up the scanner, I just go over here, and then scanner comes up very nicely, and it shows me, yeah, the picks I can take. So that's a nice little thing I'm trying out. See how that goes. So pick for today will most likely be MSTR. So strong stock in the open, pull back here. It's compressing a little bit, testing these highs. On this breakout is when I would get in the entry. I actually took it on a pullback right here. Stock is holding up very well relative to the market. Market is pulling back over here. So on this next breakout higher, if the market is able to test this high of the day and snap back up, and also even get a little bit of momentum and fill in the gap, I think MSTR could be a pretty nice trade. So that is going to be MSTR, day trade long. That is going to be our pick of the day on that break of the high of the day. And for me personally, since I'm in the trade, on the break of the high of the day where I'd normally add, I'm actually just going to enter that position and make it a full position. So that's what I'm going to do to trade MSTR there. A couple of other picks that I liked earlier today. Let's look at our good friend, Mr. NVIDIA. NVIDIA breaking out of this D1 wedge today. So this is a really nice setup. We're through the wedge, through some horizontal levels. We got a buy signal here above all the SMAs. So this is a pretty good breakout. Volume is looking also pretty good today. Pull back to this, actually, this trend line. Look at that. Wow. Pull back to this trend line, bounced off it. So that's your entry point. Not going to take it because I'm really going to just take MSCR today, but I think I may potentially recommend it as a swing. Look at a couple of other ones here. IBM. That's a nice follow through on this stock. Very nice D1 chart. A little more choppy though intraday. You can see how we got these mixed red candles here. Tested this open here, so it doesn't have a lot of momentum either way, and not a lot of great volume. So that's why I'm not as crazy about IWM right now. But very nice D1 stock for sure. If I look at CART, That was a nice breakout here. There's an early day trade on this stock from here to here. Didn't quite get the entry, so I passed on that. But if it can break through that high of the day, then we could get something going. So I've been using my keyboard shortcuts as well. There's a good to cancel alert at the high of the day. Yeah, those are some of the good picks. So my other pick is going to be NVIDIA long. And this is just, you can take it a call, or I might probably do a CDS here. But on... So take NVIDIA long, if it can, looking just for a close above this level here. We get a close above this level, and then some follow through. That'll be a kind of a nice setup here for a swing. And then, we got a couple of little stopping points here, little stopping point there, little stopping point there, around 130, 135, 140. So a little bit of stopping points, but if there is a bullish breakout in our favor, NVIDIA might actually be leading the charge up first and maybe making that move ahead of the market. So I like NVIDIA here. And this is a very nice, some pretty nice price action here. I missed my entry. I probably would have taken it if I zoom out here. You can see test, 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 and then we actually end up breaking through this level here, and then we get that close around 11:15, right at 128. So that's probably when I would ride this guy up, and then yeah, you could take a nice $1.50 on that move. So I missed my entry a little bit, but that happens. That happens. So, but should set up pretty nicely for a swing here. So that is going to be, or those are going to be my two picks for the day. We're going to keep it light. Probably look to take profits on this trade tomorrow. If you have a more aggressive, maybe swing mindset, you can maybe try to ride this up all the way to 140. I'm going to keep it light term, short term, and light. Again, we are in this compression. I still don't have a bias as to which way we're going to break, but we've been in this compression for a while, so it's more likely we're going to break out sooner rather than later. My hunch is this week. I don't really have any sort of technical confirmation, just more of a timing thing, right? We don't end up compressing for like a month. The one wrench in this plan, couple things coming up that I should have mentioned earlier in the video. Bank earnings start at the end of this week, beginning of next week. Election coming out, election results November 5th, I believe. And then we have the FOMC statement release, on the 6th. So we could see a bit of a dead period before that. I mentioned that earlier, maybe in August or so, we might see some compression that time for there. So if you have, short premium here, put credit spreads, call credit spreads, even, some sort of premium harvesting strategy, selling naked puts, that's kind of a good way to do it. Okay. Well, that is going to be it for the video today. Thank you for watching, everyone, and we will take a look at how these picks did in tomorrow's video.